Welcome, everyone. Fred Glick here again with Bill Deweese. And as you can see, we didn't send each other the memo. We both have red shirts on.
At least mine's burgundy-ish. It's darker, so they can tell us apart. That and the
This,
hair.
yeah, exactly. This is my stepdaughter Kayla always says I look good in red, so I take her.
There you
So
go.
anyway, how was the week, Bill?
It was good. $4,736. So it was a good week. Good solid week.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. On Monday, what happened then?
Monday, I did a promo for something called Power of Cinema. It was a promotional video for a company that does advertising to theaters.
Okay.
I do these auction commercials, which I've mentioned before. I did one of those. I did a bank commercial, and I did some how to avoid dog bite training for municipal workers.
Nice.
Yes.
So in other words, just to keep them from, I heard a horrendous story this week about that, where some postal delivery guy, and again, you and I are big dog fans, almost looked like he went out of his way to hurt this dog.
Oh, wow.
And it was really disturbing. But anyway, so yeah, it sounds like something. But that just came in. That was in the news this week, where the dog had really gotten its snout messed up, and it was a really nice dog, and et cetera, et cetera.
Well, this kind of training was really good. It was talking about the things that you do ahead of time to ensure or minimize any potential conflict along the way.
Yeah, that would have been nice for both the
Yes.
owner and the mail delivery person to have listened to.
I'm sure.
Was that for a specific state or municipality?
No, it was general.
Got it. And who's going to be using that?
Well, for city employees who have to like meter readers.
This guy he was reading. It was California Department of Water or whatever.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And it was all of this was brought home to me because all of a sudden they sent me a letter saying our water bill had tripled, and sure enough, I looked at the meter and there's something must be leaking somewhere.
Oh man,
Here
sorry
in
about that.
California, you know how big of a deal that is.
Yeah, yeah. You need to move to Illinois where you can just out in the backyard you can find puddles from the last storm.
Absolutely. Now, apparently here in California, if I don't get this fixed, I'll probably be arrested, so I may be gone.
If I can't find you next week, I'll know why.
Sounds good. Well, anyway, enough of the chatter. What happened Tuesday?
Tuesday, I did some CAD training, CAD software training, some narration for Hitachi, which is an ongoing client of mine. I did a little commercial for a credit union, and then I did another small little training project, and actually my notes don't even tell me what it was. I probably didn't even understand what it was. That's probably why. So,
Well, but you did get paid.
I did get paid, yes.
You're going to. You invoiced.
I'm going to. Right, yeah, I will be.
Okay.
That was Tuesday. It was a very light day. That was my lightest day.
Okay.
Then Wednesday, I did commercials for Bob Hook Chevrolet in Louisville, Kentucky, because Bob Hook's got it. That's the tagline. Bob Hook's got it. Market insights, narration. Oh, it's a monthly little thing that I do on what the markets did this past month. I did some on hold for a pest control company. I did some training for HIPAA regulations, medical stuff. And then there's a client, an automobile dealership in Ohio, northern Ohio, I did a commercial for.
You know, you talked about Bob Hook. It made me think that oftentimes I would imagine that if you're not careful, and I know having grown up where you did in Ohio, you're close. Well, you weren't really near the Kentucky border, but for many people, there might be a tendency when you're doing it for Bob Hook, who's in Louisville, to try and to adopt a little bit of a regional accent. Does that ever happen?
Do I intentionally do that?
Well, no. Do you think that it sometimes happens when you're reading copy?
No, no, not really. One thing I really am conscious of, but it brings up a good topic, is that I really try to remain as neutral as I can, because if anything, I'll err on this Chicago Midwestern where the a's become yeah, and everything's kind of drawn out like that. And so I have to be very careful. Sometimes I can, even though I didn't grow up here, there's a little bit of it that comes out in my speech, and so that's what I have to watch out for.
And so people who are listening, don't try because what happens is inevitably, like when I'm speaking with my Filipino friends, I tend to, without knowing it, sort of put on a little bit of a Filipino accent as I'm speaking English even.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
I speak a language, but I think there's a tendency on all of our parts. But I think that's exactly what voice talent probably shouldn't be doing.
Right. Yes. Unless you're requested to do it.
Right. Okay.
Remain as neutral as possible. Thursday was actually a pretty light day too yesterday. As a matter of fact, I was a little worried that I wouldn't do as well as I did this week. I had 3 projects, a sales training project, a computer training project, and more training for Cisco, the Cisco One Enterprise Suite.
And so total dollars yesterday were how much? And that leads to my next question about what
You know, and I don't have that total. I can.
was
You know,
under.
it was probably under $500.
Okay, so then did you use the additional time that you had available to be auditioning?
I did. I
Got
auditioned
it.
like a maniac yesterday.
Yeah, so you knocked out quite a bit of that.
Yeah, I don't even know how many, but it was a lot.
Brings up just a really, really good point because whenever, and if you're looking at every day as sort of a separate entity in which you have X amount of hours in your day, many times that day will be packed with work, and other times when it's not. Now, do you try and, when you have an understanding that there's going to be, let's say 50% of your day is going to be non-utilized on paying work, do you then go switching back and forth between the two, or do you try and knock out all your auditions? And how do you do it?
I switch back and forth because it all depends on what's coming in, because I keep an eye on my inbox because, especially through pay to play,
Right.
they'll send notifications. So I'm looking to see what I want to audition for as the day progresses.
What a great segue, by the way. The pay-to-play material on a special, and we will be announcing that shortly, so look for that. We just finished the pay-to-play website, which, by the way, I think went incredibly well, especially since we were able to get individuals from both the Voices.com group and Voice123.com to come online with us in the last session.
I mean, including the CEO of Voice123. I mean, and the feedback I've received so far has been amazing. People are loving it, and they're booking work. That's what's important. They're getting jobs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, great to hear. And I think it was really instructive, both from the standpoint of the instruction of the first 4 segments, which were all based on just nuts and bolts training, but then to get the feedback from the individuals, which, by the way, as you noticed, there were no men involved with running these businesses. Probably a good reason why they're running so well.
It could be. It could be.
So you do mix the work with the auditioning when you have time.
I do, yes. I just kind of keep one eye on the inbox throughout the day.
Okay.
And yeah.
And so the reason why you're doing that is because if a pay-to-play audition comes in, you want to get your foot in the door as quickly as possible with your audition.
If it's something that I want it to be a part of, I need to be in sooner rather than later.
Got it.
Otherwise,
okay.
I may not get listened to, and that's a waste of time.
Okay, and so that was Thursday. Now today is Friday.
Today is my biggest day. $1,500 today. I did some employee training for a company called Centerpoint Energy. I did a few promos for New Mexico PBS. I did a commercial for a credit union. I do a lot of credit union commercials. Not sure where that is. I guess I have a voice for it.
Sounds so credible and so
maybe that's what it is. Makita Tools, I record there on hold for corporate, so I did some Makita Tool stuff today. And then I did a little medical benefits training for a company called Stericycle. They're the ones who like collect needles and sharps from hospitals and all that kind of stuff. I did that. And I also did an on-hold project for a company today. I can't remember the name of the company offhand. It wasn't a major brand. But I got that through Voices.com. But I also wanted to mention one of these earlier projects, and I can't remember which one, came to me because of an email that I had sent out, because I don't just do pay-to-play auditions. I do, like yesterday, I stumbled across a company online that does nothing but explainer videos, and I'd never contacted them. So I immediately sent an email out to them. But this company that contacted me yesterday, I asked them, actually, it was a credit union commercial I did today. He's out in California. And I said, if you don't mind, how did you find out about me? And he said, well, you emailed me way back. I don't know, it was a year or two, I guess. He kept me on file. And when the time came he needed me, he called. So that's my takeaway this week. Nothing's wasted. Take advantage of that time.
And hopefully if you stay in the business long enough, a year or two later, somebody calls you up. And you've said it's happened as long as 5 years later.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. I mean, so it's just you have to know that some stuff comes quickly, maybe same day. Some stuff may, come to fruition next week, next month, a year, 5 years. You just don't know.
Got it. Good. So any other things any sort of takeaway elements that we can give people that are either listening or watching?
Let me just go back to what you were just talking about. And I know not to beat a dead horse, but this idea of taking advantage of little spaces of time that you have. I once heard somebody talk about the value of 5 minutes. And I never forgot about that because it's amazing. You can do a lot in 5 minutes. You can audition for a job that will make you $1,000 in 5 minutes. And so, when you've got a 5 or 10 minute break, or you have, you're working a full-time job and you're trying to figure out how to squeeze this all in, you get 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you sit down, you audition, you send some emails.
I was thinking of the reverse, which is you can also destroy your life in 5 minutes. Sign up for Ashley Madison, get exposed, and you're dead.
Absolutely. There you go. You can do it. You can do a lot in 5 minutes.
For children, yeah. I mean, there can be 5 minutes can mean a lot in either direction. And the key is to take those little blocks of time and to use them productively. Now, in this business, obviously, it's easy to do because that's plenty of time. How many auditions can you do more than one in 5 minutes?
It would be hard for me to do more than one. I'd feel like I was rushing if I did more than one every 5 minutes.
In other words, if you've got 5 minutes, though, you can knock out one audition.
Yeah, or maybe 2 or 3 emails or a phone call.
Yep. Perfect. Okay, good. Well, any final thoughts then, or we'll wrap it up for the week?
Well, let's wrap it up. It was, hopefully everybody has a great holiday weekend. I hopefully won't be working Monday, but I have some European and Chinese clients, so
they don't care if it's Labor Day.
They don't care. We'll see what happens.
Thanks a lot, folks. We'll see you next time. Take care with Bill DeWeese.